Hello everyone, my name is Quincy Washington and I am on the Glass Party's ticket for President of the United States. As you may know, my party, the Glass Party, and myself has a lot of policies that we would like to implement into the American society for the better. Like every presidential election, there are two main parties that rival up against each other to win the presidency. Today, me and my vice president candidate, Colson Bowen, will be picking apart every single one of the 10 policies the other party has to say. Just by seeing their advertisements and what they stand by, I am scared as a president candidate. We have them in the White House. What is American civilization going to do? We are gonna plunder down. The Glass Party is here to demolish all of that ideology and bring a better American society. Their first topic is decreasing poverty and investing in affordable housing. They want to relax laws targeting the lower classes, such as loitering, and invest in shelters for the homeless. How will you invest in affordable housing? There was no plan of action. Unlike my opposing party, we actually have an action plan that we want to implement to the American society. We want to place price ceilings on property in lower income neighborhoods to avoid gentrification. We want to invest in local infrastructure to reduce costs hung directly on consumers. Investing in research and development of hosting companies naturally lowers prices by finding more efficient, cost-effective solutions. Investing in education and specialization naturally lowers housing prices by increasing efficiency. That's how we want to tackle affordable housing. This party does not have any plan in line. So the opposing party is saying they want to invest in shelters for the homeless, but they want to relax laws targeting the lower classes such as loitering. You want the homeless to loiter more? You don't want to put in policies to help erase homelessness, but you want them to loiter. Opposing party's next policy is universal healthcare for all. Universal healthcare is terrible. Inflation is going to skyrocket. The United States will be wasting so much money. According to Bernie Sanders, it will cost $40 trillion to go into universal healthcare. That is the biggest surplus of money the US will ever have in 1 year. The Glass Party wants to fight this by instituting federal healthcare reforms. The United States prices for essential medications and procedures are out of control in the healthcare sector. The Glass Party plans to end Big Pharma's monopoly on healthcare by capping healthcare premiums to private insurance. The Glass Party is going to lower millions of unnecessary dollars in federal fees, which prevents small businesses from selling medication at competitive prices. That is an initiative that you should vote for. Not wanting to have universal healthcare. The next point my opposing party wants to implement is increasing of higher education by building more colleges. They want to reallocate money from other departments to fund school and tax cuts on education resources. What other department are you trying to reallocate money from? The military? Not only are we defending the United States, we are defending other countries all across the world. And honestly, what is building more colleges accomplishing? The tuition of college schools is outrageous. Me and Vice President Colson Bowen and the Glass Party is going to put a federal cap on tuition prices for public universities. Education is needed. Building more colleges won't do anything, but setting a price cap lower for these colleges will help more kids get the education they need, have the beautiful American life that they need. Not building more colleges. The next policy my opposing party has is to implement a nationwide public transportation system. They specifically put including bus and train routes. How does this party implement a nationwide public transportation system? The Glass Party has a transportation policy that we want to implement. Transportation creates 1.56 billion of greenhouse gas emissions within the United States. The Glass Party plans to continue the 2022 bipartisan infrastructure law. If you're unfamiliar with this law, it invests in public transportation nationwide. The law that me and Vice President candidate Colson Bowen are advocating will replace thousands of transit vehicles, including buses and ferries, with low and no emission vehicles. These low or zero emission buses will help fight climate change. The Glass Party has a plan that we are going to use. So the next position that this party has is making a serious effort to include minority and marginalized voices in policy making in everyday life. As two African American candidates for the presidency of America, I love to hear that. But as a presidential candidate, policymaker, and superhero for young kids out in America, that policy is ridiculous. So are these minority and marginalized voices you are advocating for qualified, or Or are you just trying to make everything diverse? You have to have the qualifications. You have to work your butt off. You can't just get a job because you're African American. And that is what the Glass Party stands on.
One of y'all points is that y'all want to try to research and invest in new ways for clean energy to go around, our country. But from what I saw, for everyone else saw, y'all really don't have a way to do that. Opposed to us, we already know what we're doing. We're going to make all of our cars clean, increase public transportation, and all the stuff like that. What are y'all going to do? Next point I want to talk about is you guys wanted to have a fair workers union and a fair economy, which that sounds great ideologically, but from what you showed us, what you showed the world, that's all that is. It's a dream. I get we all got a dream, but y'all want to raise the minimum wage federally. That's asking for increased inflation. And as an American, I don't want to pay most of my expenses in inflation. So how do y'all even plan on doing that? Because even then, why would there be a federal minimum wage when the standard of living in Nebraska is way different than the cost of living in California? So again, for your next point, prison reform, yeah, that's good and all that. But racial disparity, talking more about mental health, physical health, again, that stuff costs money, and y'all do not have any way of making money in any of y'all points. And with that racial disparity that y'all was talking about, we cannot regulate that because a prison is a private system, and there is no racial disparity within the prison. We don't pick who goes there, who comes out. Yeah, we sentence everyone, but I mean, you do the crime, you do the time. So your next point is to invest in resources for foreign people to be able to get their citizenship within the U.S. What resources are y'all talking about? Because in your entire campaign list, there's no fix for anything. Let's from point one all the way to this point, there's no fix. You don't go in depth at all. There's no elaboration, none of that. All this is a bunch of ideas. And you can dream, but keep it that way until you have a way to make it reality. And for y'all 10th and final point, y'all want to reallocate money to other places and rethink our stances on foreign affairs. Well, really, that would cause more hurt. That would cause more hurt than help. Because us as a global superpower have a lot of power within places like Europe, Middle Eastern Asia, all those kind of places. And what you're suggesting is isolationism. And that's exactly what China and Japan did. And you see what happened to them. No one could trade, and we make most of our money off of trading. So how do you expect us to, one, reallocate our funds when we don't have any funds at all from your entire campaign? Two, reconsider our stances on foreign affairs. Although I understand sometimes we're not going to agree with each other, but that's what we are. We're people, but we're still Americans at the end of the day, and we're going to stay in our country.
I'm Quincy Washington, and I approve this message.